Welcome aboard the Culture Statement. My name is Vince. Let's see what we find out there today.
What's going on, everybody? Hope you all had a great weekend. Did y'all do anything? Did you see anything exciting? Did you do anything exciting? I had to watch Loki. Quick recap on that. If season 1 started here, ended here, season 2 started here, got to about here, then this last episode kind of took us back to here, right? Just a waste of time. That's all it was. All this last episode did was literally end in the timeline about 30 seconds before it started, right before the start of the episode in the timeline of Loki. So there's that. I also watched Invincible season 2, episode 1. I liked it a lot. Didn't have the hook that episode 1 of season 1 had, but if you're watching season 2, hopefully you're already into the show, so you don't need that hook, I guess. But it still seemed good. I like some of the changes they made. I have all the comics. I have not the floppies, unfortunately, not the individuals, but I do have the 3 compendiums, right? And I like most of the changes that they made so far, except for keeping Amber around. Like, come on, let's hurry up and get rid of her, right? Her character's annoying. I don't like how she treated Mark in the first season, and then he took her back. Anyways, so all that being said, I'm scrolling through Twitter this morning, and I see news that Insomniac's creative leads have stated, yes, for sure, Miles is the future of our Spider-Man series, and we are moving forward with that, right? Okay. Before we get into all that, I got the first Insomniac Spider-Man game at midnight, drop, digital download, midnight drop, blah, blah, blah. Started playing it at midnight. I platinumed that game, right? Loved every second of it. Thought that game was fantastic. My only gripe at the time was I thought the swinging was too easy, and I thought they could make the swinging just a little better, which, spoilers, they did by Spider-Man 2. Okay. When Spider-Man Miles Morales came out, I actually, at that day and date release of that, like a week before that game dropped, I got lucky and caught a deal on through GameStop where I got my PS5 that I have now, an extra controller, and a copy of Miles Morales. Right, so that was the first game I played on my PS5. Didn't platinum. I'll say that didn't platinum. Got still need like 3 trophies if I wanted to platinum that one, but it was PS5, new game. Got a couple of new games and whatever. But I still have that game, right? Like I still have that, right here. Okay, I like Miles in this game. I think this game is fantastic. I think they did a great job with the characterization of Miles Morales. Fantastic game. Okay, Spider-Man 2. I'm sure you've heard all of the woke drama, right? Backtrack. My one big gripe with Miles Morales was the all the BLM crap that they threw in there, right? So that they like, there's this part where you're helping this muralist, and at the end, like, you get a spider suit, a really cool looking spider suit, gifted to you by, I don't remember if it was the neighborhood or the muralist himself, like the artist himself or something. But when they give it to you, it actually plays like a little cutscene, and it shows. It starts with the Black Power fist, right? And it zooms out, and it's a mural, a BLM mural, and then it's Miles standing in front of it in the new costume. Thought that was fucking stupid, right? But anyways, Spider-Man 2 came out a couple weeks ago. I initially was debating whether or not I wanted to get it because of comments the creators had made about feeling that the first game was too pro-cop and they needed to make this one more anti-cop. And don't get me wrong, I'm not pro or anti-cop, right? I think some cops are good. I think some cops are bad. I hate cops that abuse their power. And I know if someone were to start kicking in my door right now, I'd call 911 and hope a police officer showed up, right, to take out the trash on it, admittedly, after I was done with it. But case in point, or not the point. But in the end, I went soft. I caved. I got Spider-Man 2. Played it, and I wish I had recorded. I wish I had like a camera in the like on my like I was wearing a GoPro talking about it. Anytime I would talk about it to my wife, because she would she'd ask what I thought. And the truth was that anytime I was just swinging around, beating up bad guys, using my powers, using the new abilities that they give you. I really like the way they did the combat system where you're not having to switch between gadgets, but they're like quick selects, right? I really like that. I loved the swinging. They made it exactly what I wanted. Every time you shoot the web, it actually has to attach to a physical spot, and then you travel on a pendulum from that spot, right? And it's great. It is difficult. It took me like 3 days before I really got the hand of it. I need a capture card. As soon as I get one, I'll start capturing my PS5 footage as well as my PC footage, gameplay footage. But I don't have any video of this. But man, for the first 3 days, it was like every other swing, every third swing, I'd crash into the ground, right? Crash into a car, crash into a building. I loved it. But then I would play a mission, and almost 60% of the missions I absolutely hated. Right? They were all woke. These bad guys that as Spider-Man, endgame Spider-Man, full power, fully leveled up, max damage, might take me 10 hits to KO. Mary Jane, done. 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 Right? She's better than Spider-Man. Why? Well, I'm sure you've seen the articles by now, but there's articles out there where the director said they wanted to make her. They heard the complaints that she was boring in the first game, so they're going to continue to shove it down our throats. But this time they'll make her more powerful. She'll be OP, and they don't care. Right? Whatever. I hated Miles' hair, but that's neither here nor there. That's whatever. But I still like his characterization. But let's go. I'm playing as Miles, and let's go. We have to go help a guy ask out another guy to prom. Because that's what we want to do. We're Spider-Man, right? We want to help dudes go to prom with other dudes. Or we have to play as his deaf friend who becomes his love interest by the end of the game. And you play as her, so they mute the audio in the game. Right? Because we want to be a deaf graffiti artist. Let's call it what it is, graffiti artist, while we're playing our Spider-Man game. Right? I go by Call of Duty, hoping that I get to mop a floor, right? Play a little bit of Armored Core, hoping that if I'm lucky, I'll get to go scrub a toilet in the game, right? That's what we do. And yeah, the game was just woke as shit. And by the end, and Peter just being a little, I don't even know what word to use here, punk, bitch, wimp, wuss towards Mary Jane, like just fucking simpering, like crying and simpering at every little like complaint she had. Oh, it's my fault, Mary Jane. You're so much better than me, Mary Jane. I'm the worst, Mary Jane. And you had, and then by the end of it, Peter's not hanging up the tights, but hey, Miles, I'm gonna take a break. You take it, right? And it's like, okay, we already know where this is going, but it's for then they can, if you beat the game, you know where it's going, right? You can see it's not exactly trying to read smoke signals, seeing the direction that these games are going to go. That being said, when they just come out and say it, that's another thing, right? So this article here on Games Radar, Miles Morales is now Insomniac's lead Spider-Man in a move that was planned, quote-unquote, pretty early on. After Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Miles Morales is the lead Spider-Man in the Insomniac series, a move that was decided very early on, according to developers. In an interview with Gizmodo, narrative director Ben Arfman and advanced writer Brittany Morris shared some insight into Marvel Spider-Man 2's ending and what it means for the future of Insomniac's Spider-Man games. As fans will already know, the series started with Marvel's Spider-Man, which focused on Peter Parker. A few years later, Insomniac introduced Miles Morales in his very own spin-off Spidey game, and later brought the two together in Marvel Spider-Man 2. Now that the latest title is out in the world, it seems the future of the series will focus primarily on Miles, giving Peter a well-earned rest. How is it a well-earned rest? This isn't the Peter Parker that has been doing it since the 60s that Stan Lee wrote, right? No. This is the Peter Parker that their series created that we've only played in fully for one game. He got a game, Miles got a game, him and Miles shared a game. If anything, Miles has earned just as much of a rest as Peter, right? Because you can only base it off of these games. Continuing. Talking about the scene at the end of Marvel Spider-Man 2 where Peter hands the reins over to Miles, Morris tells the outlet, "It always felt very natural, and I think we all collectively thought it would happen." The Insomniac dev continues. "To me, it shows a great deal of evolution from Miles. At the beginning of the game, we get to see him struggling to figure out what he wants to do with his life. By the end, we had Miles carrying the burden of saving the city and also carrying Pete when Pete wasn't strong enough to carry himself at various points." Nothing wrong with that in a series as a concept, right? Nothing at all. Explaining the fun of writing for two Spider-Men, Morris continues. "They're both strong, and one of them can be strong when the other is not. By the end, Miles is more confident. He's like, yeah, I got this. How much worse can things get after what we just went through?" Following this, Arfman reveals that the idea to have Miles take over Spider-Man duties full-time was decided early on in development. We knew that we wanted to have that moment of handing the reins over," the game's narrative director continues. "And as we developed it, as we started to lay down more track leading up to that moment, it just felt more and more right." Talking specifically about the scene in Aunt May's garage, Arfman adds, "The way that Miles intuits exactly what Pete is thinking and stops him from stumbling through trying to hand over the mask, Miles going, 'I got this, bro.' It's such a great moment between the two of them. And it felt like such a natural conclusion. I'm not sure when specifically we decided to do that, but it always felt like the only way the game could end." So the fact that they went into this planning to put Peter in the back seat, the same way that Disney Marvel has been putting Peter in the back seat for over a decade now. And when he is the main character, like in the Tom Holland movies, he's not the Peter that we know and love, right? And then they put him in, they put two of them in Spider-Verse, Spider-Verse, and you get the competent version of him dead, and the other version of him just a fat, pathetic slob, right? So they've been trying to fuck over the character of Peter Parker for years, the character that the fans know and love. And again, I really liked the way they handled Miles in the first game and even in his own game. And I had no problem with the idea. I loved the idea of a main series game, Peter focused, a numbered game, Peter focused, and then a side story game, Miles focused. And that would be great, right? Like you could have like two concurrent game series running, right? We got one, then Miles Morales, and we got two. Now we could, instead of having to wait 5 years for three, maybe 2.5 years from now, we get another Miles Morales game, and then a couple years later we get Spider-Man 3, more Peter, right? But that's not going to happen. Now it's going to be all Miles, and they're going to force Miles down our throat, whether you like it or not. Hope you like it. That's what's coming. As for me, I'm done. I'm done with all this stuff behind me on the walls. Used to be all Batman, right? It was all Batman. Got rid of all of it because DC killed that character for me. Got rid of all the Star Wars, same thing. And now I'm done with Spider-Man, Insomniac Spider-Man. I was done with Marvel's Spider-Man for a while now, and I was playing Insomniac's because it felt like they got the character in the first game, but clearly they don't. Clearly it is all still agenda driven. You can never let your guard down around these people. The moment they get anything that you love, it's done. If you have a book you like, if you have a comic book you like, if you have a cartoon you like, if you have an anime you like, and you hear they're making a video game, and you hear they're making a movie, and you hear they're making a TV series, run for the hills. It will not be good. It cannot be good. I am sitting here puckered up, waiting to see how they're going to ruin Dune when part 2 comes out in March, right? I have faith in Denis Villeneuve, but at this point, I don't have trust in anybody in any of these fields because it all turns to shit when they get their hands on it. So let's hope that doesn't happen to Dune. It's happened to Call of Duty. It's happened to Spider-Man. It's happened to Batman. It's happened to Star Wars. It's happening to, watch it. It's going to happen to Deadpool. Wait till Deadpool 3 comes out. That's going to be a fucking shit show unless Ryan Reynolds puts his foot down. How much power does he actually have, right? So we'll see. Tell me what you guys think. Am I being crazy here? Am I getting worked up over nothing? Or am I right? Are they just once again, oh, you like Spider-Man? Here's diversity right down your throat, right? Play as the ugly redhead. Play as the deaf girl. Help the gay boy get a prom date. Right? Don't beat up bad guys. Don't help police officers because you're a superhero who stops villains. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you guys next time.
Thanks for stopping by. If you like this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and follow me on the X at CultureSailor1. I'll see you next time, and as always, fair winds and following seas.